us in life is that people are the X factor. They constantly surprise us, both in amazing ways and not so much. We're Ben and Syya, and welcome to the On This Business Bites podcast. This show is all about real life things we all deal with every day, how they relate to business, and how to make some sense out of our daily chaos. Welcome to the show. And welcome back to another episode of On This Business Bites. I'm Ben and this is Syya. And this week we want to talk about we need to get rid of the idea in our mind. We're going to fake it till we make it. I am so sick of the veneer. I'm sick of the people renting a Learjet for an hour, never taking off, taking a whole bunch of pictures around it and talking about their new Learjet. Or that Ferrari that they rented for an hour and talking about my new Ferrari, or look at this mansion I'm in front of, or look how successful I am, or whatever, trying to just put on this veneer to sit there and say, hey, I must be important. So people are going to pay attention to me. So that's how I'm going to become important. And it's just, I don't care if you are a 19-year-old trying to do this or a 60-year-old trying to do this. We got to stop putting ourselves in a position where we think that fake it to make it is going to work, because guess what? In the world of social media today, people see through it like a clear lens. It's not something that people buy into. And the people who buy into it probably can't afford what you want to sell them anyway. So let's gnaw on this, Syya. The world is yours.
Oh my God. Okay. So first off, do people really do that? I'm like,
yes, they do. I saw it this morning.
Are you kidding? That's so weird. It is such a, that right there, that imposter. I think there's a difference. Fake it till you make it. If you're hustling, and maybe it's like, you got to give this illusion of quote success. And I understand what you're saying, but then there's that straight up fake influencer thing, which is what I think you're describing. So let me try to clarify this. Okay. As an entrepreneur, there's going to be a lot of credibility challenges that we have working with especially larger organizations to say, does this person have the capabilities to actually execute on and fill in the gap that we need to fulfill, right? So in some ways, solopreneurs have that challenge, right? Because they're starting on their own business, but they need those clients to help them grow the business so they can eventually hire people, etc. So there is, I can see why, AKA me, launching a business and getting that valid, that credibility that maybe some companies require it. Right now, on the flip side, if you're around a tribe of people that really understands who you are, where you're at, and how this all works, you don't gotta fake nothing, right? Yet you can be true to who you are because that is the truth. And people who don't want to hear the truth, can't handle the truth, probably aren't the kind of people you want to hang with. So that's my answer to the fake it till you make it thing. But I do understand why it exists. The other thing you described, though, I don't understand. That's why I wanted to separate the two.
Okay, I was taking everything to the extreme, but when you get down to the solopreneur, the small business owner trying to do business with large business, okay, large business knows you're a small business. Any procurement officer worth their salt has done research on you. They know the fact that you are who you are, and you do what you do. And if you try to present yourself as being this grandiose company and you can't live up to what you said you were going to do, you're done.
Yeah.
You're done. They're never going to call your number again. You have one chance at that audible. And if you can't deliver on what you promised on, you're done.
Yep.
And not only are they going to blackball you, but they're going to talk to other people who are going to blackball you as well.
Yeah.
And better to say, you know what, we're working on this. I have this experience, which I believe is going to enable me to do this for you. Let's sit down. Let's talk about this is what I know I'm capable of. These are some things. Listen, we're going to have to figure this out together and be able to move forward. And you're in a far better position to do that because these companies want to support small business. They need to support small business, because that's where all the innovation comes from. But if you walk in saying that you can do everything that you can't do,
That's bad.
and all of a sudden you fall behind, and all of a sudden you're out of budget, and all of a sudden you're delayed, you're going to get blackballed.
That's true.
And
That's true.
So where's the benefit to that in the long run? Because you can only play that game so many times. All of a sudden it starts looking like a Ponzi scheme.
Yeah. I mean, especially with, I think, entrepreneurs that network with each other, right?
Mm-hmm.
We all know look, we don't think we know our dirt, where dirt's hidden and skeletons hiding and all that good stuff. I think if you're in a community long enough, we all know. We all
Mm-hmm.
know there's something, whether you realize it or not. As we talked about personal branding and whatever in a previous episode, yeah, your branding kind of follows you if you're a fake it to the make it, and you're constantly in, it just gave me a squirrel moment. You know that cartoon comic where it's like fire, there's like a cartoon of a fire and there's a dog just sitting there saying, "Oh, everything's fine," and the whole room is like flaming. Like that to me is like, I think how maybe faking till you make it kind of vibe is, right? Like everything's burning down, but I got this,
That's right.
Anyway.
And it's that mentality of, well, what's the worst that can happen to me? Well, it's not just the worst that can happen to you. It's what about your client who's relying on you to do whatever that they're paying you to do? And their reputation's on the line with their customers. And this person who hired you, their relationship with their boss, and the company is looking at at their clients and everything and says, okay, well, we promised we'd have all these things done because our vendor promised us this, and all of a sudden you can't deliver. You're not just letting yourself down, you're letting down other people, and you're causing this domino effect that could be way bigger than you ever had any idea of.
Yeah. Okay. I think we're going down a path where, we're overcommitting and under delivering, right? I'm just wondering.
But what's the difference?
Well, I guess it's more of the fake it in the context of faking that you're already successful. But I don't know, because I'm like one of those people where, again, I'm not trying to say I'm faking it until I'm making it kind of thing. But again, it is sometimes you have to get yourself and put yourself up and out there to get experience, get exposure and stuff. So sometimes it's putting yourself up and out there look, have I written a book before? No. But if someone were to like pay me to write a book, I'd be like, I'll do it. You know what I mean? Like, it's almost like, I kind of like that attitude of faking and making in the context of like you're hustling to make things happen. I don't know if I'm making sense on this,
but you're not promising anything. When somebody says, Syya, I want you to write me a book on podcasting. Oh, okay, I can do that.
I can do that.
You can do that. Syya, I want you to write a book on brain surgery. Oh, I can do that. Oh shit, what do I do now?
Well, I'll tell you exactly what's going to happen next. Google and find all my friends and be like, who knows a brain surgeon? And
that's the point.
But you make it, but you're making it.
One is faking it till you make it.
I mean,
one of them is faking it to make it because you have no idea where to start, other than the fact of pray to God that your LinkedIn profile has somebody that you can hire who actually is a brain surgeon to write this book for you, and you can ghostwrite it, and you can take credit for it. And that's faking it till you make it.
I guess so. But I think that okay, look, I hear what you're saying, but I also feel like, but you're still making it happen. Like you're still doing it.
But
granted, you might have
telling the person that you wrote the book, or are you telling the person that you're going to go out and find somebody who can write the book, and you're just going to coordinate the project? And it's how you present yourself, which is the difference between fake it till you make it and actually being somebody that says, look, I don't know anything about, Somalian, women's culture issues, but you know what? I know a bunch of people that do. I'm going to coordinate all this. I'm going to gather their stories. I'm going to have those stories proofread and ghostwritten to be able to make sure that they're cohesive, turn it into a book, and I'll be able to have it to you in 7 months.
I mean, I get you.
That's not faking it till you make it, because you are sitting there going, I know where I can go find these people to make this happen. But if you say, yeah, I'll write you a book on this and you'll have it in 6 months. There's the difference.
I hear what you're saying. I was going to argue there are authors that do write about topics they know nothing of, but they do a ton of research, right? So again, I'm catching what you're pitching though. No, that's really interesting. I mean, you know, I hear a lot of people talk about imposter syndrome, meaning like people. Now, this is what I find fascinating.
Mhm.
Where people I've talked to, where my personal assessment and opinion was like, well, I thought they had their SHIT together. Like they seem to have it all. They seem to have a lovely home, lovely position. They're lovely and all that good stuff. And then when you sit down and have sippy sips and they're just like, yeah, I'm a total clown show, and you're like, what? And I think it's interesting to some degree. Some of the people that you think are so put together are the ones that are like, I'm suffering from imposter syndrome. Why do you think that is?
I think we're afraid to show people who we really are. And we're afraid to show people our vulnerabilities. We're afraid to let people know that we have scars and holes in the dike, and we don't know how to fix them. And we all have them. We all have scars. We all have holes in the dike. We all have things about our past that we're not proud of. And we all have things in our present probably that we're not happy with, and we'd like to change, but we can't. And the trick is that we need to be honest with each other, or we just need to not talk about it. And the question is where do you put it? If you don't talk about it, people can't help.
No, you're right.
You just sit there and try. The life is going on. See, are you back?
I'm here.
There we go. We lost you
I've been
for a
here.
second, but she's back.
Oh wow! I thought I lost you. I was like, wait. I'm like, doo doo doo.
No, I mean, what I was saying was,
did you miss me?
I did. I always miss you. But what I was saying is the fact that we need, as a society, to realize that we all have scars. We all have things. And the question is, do we talk about them, admit our vulnerabilities, and ask for help? Or do we just not try to present ourselves as being perfect, more perfect than we are? And there's a fine line there. But the question is, are you a public person or are you a private person?
Yeah.
And how much is it everybody's business what's going on in your own little world?
That makes sense. I mean, it does. I mean, it is such a complicated thing. Yeah. Like that's why I love gnawing on things like this, because there's no black and white. It feels like it should be a black and white situation. Don't you think? Like, yeah, don't fake it. You know what I mean? but there's such nuances. It is. There's always a yes, but
50 Shades of Gray. There's 50 Shades of Gray. Very few things in our world are black or white. Very few things in our world are yes or no, or right or wrong. There's usually somewhere in the middle, and there's usually some type of caveat attached to it. And that's why we're humans. We're humans because there is no perfect, and there is no absolute. And if we come to the world in that position where we realize there is no perfect and there is no absolute, then we're much better off.
For sure. I have to admit, though, really, did you have to say 50 Shades of Grey? Because I was like, this has nothing to do with our conversation. What are you talking about? So I apologize.
Hey, your mind went to a place that mine hadn't gone, but now I'm there.
But you mentioned it.
Now I'm there. Hey, before I forget, there's free chapters of my 2 books. If you go to yourbrandmarketing.com/ebooks, that there's free chapters of both my books, and there's also a link of where to buy them on Amazon. So, that's where we go. Go to yourbrandmarketing.com/ebooks. And we'll just have to make sure that you get author copies. I mean, that's what we'll have to do. So
yes, absolutely. Please, you guys, seriously, that's the advice you've given that is really helpful. So for sure. Now that I'm, knowledgeable of my published cohort. So thank you.
There we go. So let's leave it there. I think that this is a topic that we can gnaw on for forever, but I think it's time to chew on something else. I'm Ben.
And I'm Syya.
We'll see you soon.
Hey. Thanks for listening to another episode of Not on This, Business Bites. If you liked what you heard, we most humbly ask that you like, share, and hit that subscribe button. And if you want to communicate more effectively within your organization, contact Ben at yourbrandmarketing.com or me at brilliantbeammedia.com. We can help you build your community, brand awareness, and personality through digital content and podcasting. We cannot wait to hear from you. So see you next week for another episode of Not on This, Business Bites.